Stock prices for WWE dropped to their lowest levels in nearly 2 years Thursday morning. The hit comes a week after World Wrestling Entertainment got rid of longtime co-presidents George Barrios and Michelle Wilson. Well, to figure all this out and what it means for both the company and for the fans, we bring in CBS Wrestling correspondent Chuck Carroll. How's it going, Chuck?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Chuck, to start off with, how concerned should the WWE be about these recent developments, and why are the stock prices taking such a hit?
I think that they have to be extremely concerned. You want to talk about taking a hit. It's not just a hit. These things are being straight up pile driven. Just after WrestleMania last April, the shares were trading near $100. And this week, they've fallen all the way below the $50 mark. They're trading right around $45. And that means that the company on paper has lost more than half of its value in the last 12 months, despite the fact that they have signed record television contracts that guarantee them close to $2.5 billion over the next 5 years. It's really insane to me that this company is on this trajectory, despite the fact that it's making more money than ever. And then Wall Street gets nervous because you sack your two longtime co-presidents, the people that are responsible partly for taking the company to this new height, George Barrios and Michelle Wilson, and that announcement comes out of nowhere. So of course that's going to scare people off, and that is why prices are being driven down.
And what changes could you see the WWE actually making in response to all of this?
Really a whole host of them. You could call this a wholesale change that's coming up. Number one, they're scaling back live events. If the show is not televised, there's a good chance that it's not going to happen. They used to make a lot of money off of house shows, but what they're finding now these days is that if it's not Raw and it's not SmackDown or NXT, people just aren't coming to the shows the way that they were. So they're going ahead and they're cutting those off of their calendar because that was actually costing them money. They were no longer revenue generators. So that's alarming that fewer people are interested in the product, but that does go hand in hand why more and more people are also tuning out on Monday and Friday nights. Now, interestingly, what we heard from Vince McMahon during a call with investors on Thursday was that they're also looking at major changes to the way that the WWE network operates. And that could mean, this is purely speculation because we don't have a lot of details, but that could mean that the pay-per-views that we're used to paying $9.99 a month for could be shifting to another platform. All McMahon said was that it was a major, but you look at the way that Netflix is gathering content, Hulu, Amazon, all of those are majors in the online streaming game. And then there's also a service like ESPN Plus, which is already familiar with this because of their kind of deal that they have with the UFC. Here's the downside for WWE fans, though. If they go this route, not only will WWE fans have to pay that monthly subscription to get access to that service, but more than likely on top of that, then they'll have to pay an additional fee for pay-per-views, which they haven't had to pay in close to 6 years at this point.
And I do want to ask you, Chuck, does this have anything to do with other wrestling organizations potentially taking away some business as well?
That's a fair question because we saw the launch of All Elite Wrestling last fall, and that is just really kicking tail on Wednesday nights going head-to-head with NXT. But Vince McMahon was asked that flat out, and he said no. He said that that is an edgier product. WWE is not edgy. They are sticking to their PG theme. So really, in Vince McMahon's eyes, it's very much business as usual. Whether or not that holds true moving forward, only time will tell.
Be interesting to see how all that pans out. Chuck, thank you so much for joining us. You can check out Chuck's full article on recent developments in WWE on the CBS Local Sports website. Katie Johnston for CBS Local Sports.